What is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel. Thank you for tuning in today. We are talking about Premier Team of the Week, Week 11, so let's dive deeper into this. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike, huge fan of the Premier League. Obviously, I'm a little biased when it comes to picking players, but this week, I think I'm fairly equal when it comes to players being selected because I actually didn't pick any Chelsea players. So, spoiler alert on that. But if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that. Helps grow this YouTube channel, helps get this video to more and more fans out there. So like I said, today is Monday, which means we need to pick our starting 11. But before we do that, we need to talk about who's riding the bench for our best team of the week. Now, this week in week 11, there were, I wouldn't say any breakout stars. There were some good players, some bad players, but overall, I thought this week was a fairly even key playing field, so it made it very difficult to pick my starting 11. But like I said, when it came to picking my bench players, I went with the following. I went with Kyle Walker, James Ward-Prowse, and Harvey Barnes. Now, like I said, all three of these players had a pretty good game this weekend. I thought they were just on the edge of making the starting 11, but not good enough to actually bump anyone out in the starting 11. So in between the sticks, we need to go with our keeper, Ben Foster. Now, typically, I don't pick a goalkeeper that loses their match, but in this match, it was very difficult not to pick Ben Foster with how well he played in this match against Arsenal. They ended up losing by a goal, but I think it could have been a bigger loss had Foster not been between the sticks. Now, his stats were the following. He had a penalty save against Arsenal and 5 saves. Like I said, this player himself had just a great game. I think Watford did have some chances that they could have maybe got a point back. Arsenal obviously should have won this game, but they still did win it, but not by a huge margin. And therefore, I think, again, that came down to Ben Foster. Now, moving into defense, again, I go with a 3-4-3 type formation, though sometimes I do pick and choose defenders that play as technically wingbacks or in the midfield because the way teams run nowadays, there's so many defenders, it's hard to pick just 3, 4, or 5 players because, again, some weeks we have so many great players. Now, with that being said, let's start with our first defender, and that happens to be Ben White from Arsenal. Now, Ben White had the following stats. He had a clean sheet versus Watford, 6 aerial duels won, 3 interceptions, 6 clearances, and 3 block shots. Now, like I said, Arsenal did pretty good against this game, but their defense was really rock solid as well. I mean, Ben White, I think, was the better of the defenders. I mean, their whole back line did fairly well this game. But like I said, Arsenal should have been doing better. They should have scored more goals, which probably would have taken pressure off the defense. But again, they can rely on their defense and their goalkeeper, Ramsdale, again, having another clean sheet. Now, following him, we have to go to the Manchester Derby, where we have Cancelo as our next defender. Now, Cancelo had the following stats. He had 2 shots on target, 1 assist, a clean sheet against Manchester United, 92 accurate passes. Now, like I said, if you didn't watch this game, it was one that I thought was going to be very heavily sided towards Manchester City, which happened to be the case. But like I've mentioned in other videos, Cancelo is such a great player that anytime he plays for Manchester City, he makes a massive difference on their attacking style. He's able to get forward, make those runs, make those crosses, and make all those passes that, again, open up defenses. And because of him, they were able to score a goal. I believe it was Bernardo who got to the end of that goal or that cross. And therefore, like I said, it was a game that I was hoping to be a little bit better, but again, I wasn't too surprised with how Manchester City dominated against Manchester United. And then our last defender that we're picking this week happens to be Kurt Zuma, who happened to be an ex-Chelsea player, which didn't really make a difference on this one, but I picked him because of the game against Liverpool. Hammers are looking fairly good this season. I know I wouldn't give them much praise in the beginning of the season, but they are definitely doing well now into this season. They are in 3rd place. They leapfrogged Liverpool, and again, they've been playing so well. And Kurt Zuma had the following stats. He had 1 shot on target, 1 goal, 3 block shots, 2 aerial duels won, and 7 clearances. Now, like I said, this game was a back and forth. Liverpool definitely had their chances, probably could have gotten back and maybe gotten a draw of this. I'm not too sure though, because the way West Ham was playing, they were playing very defensively, yet counter-attackingly. They were absorbing a lot of attacks coming from Liverpool, and therefore it could hit them on the break. They probably could have scored more goals as well had Antonio been on the mark. He had multiple chances and just couldn't find the back of the net. And therefore, again, the game ended 3-2, and it was a great game. Now, speaking of Liverpool then, we have to go to the other side, and I'm picking a player that technically is a defender, but like I said, I'm going to throw him into our midfield, and that happens to be TAA. Now, he had the following stats. He had 1 shot on target, 1 goal, 1 assist, and 3 accurate crosses. I think he may be the best Liverpool player minus Mohamed Salah. Obviously, there is a huge difference between Mohamed Salah and the rest of the team, but Trent Alexander is right up there next to him, I think. Virgil van Dijk obviously is a great player, but TA going forward can definitely create a lot of chances, though I want to say he may be at fault for the reason why they're getting hit so many times on the counterattack, though, because he does go forward quite often. I may make a video on this talking about defense and the way Liverpool and West Ham game went, the tactics from David Moyes and from Klopp. Comment down below if you want to see that video, because I thought there were some really key points to take away from that game that, again, led to West Ham hitting them on the counterattacks and scoring one of their big goals in that game. Now, getting back to our team, though, we need to talk about our other midfielders. And our next midfielder happens to be, again, technically a Chelsea player, but is not playing for them right now. He is on loan, and that is Conor Gallagher. Now, this guy for Crystal Palace has been playing out of his freaking mind as of lately. He is really helping the squad get the wins that they need. I know earlier in the season I talked about how I was harping on Crystal Palace, so they're not going to be a good team, but Conor has been doing well. Patrick Vieira, I think, is finally steering the ship in the right direction, and they are doing very well, and they won this weekend against Wolves. Now, Conor had the following stats. He had 2 shots on target, 1 goal, 4 accurate crosses, and a clean sheet against Wolves. Now, I know he's in the midfield, but again, in my heart, I think midfield definitely contributes to any clean sheets because, again, a lot of attacking comes down the middle, comes from the sides, and your midfield has to be very structural sound. If not, that leaves your defense exposed and therefore can lead to goals. So that is why I always chalk up a clean sheet to the midfield as well. And again, like I mentioned, Conor has been playing very well each and every week for the last couple of weeks. So hopefully he can keep that going after the international break. Then next in our midfield, we're going to go with a Brighton player. Now, Brighton didn't win their game. They ended up drawing 1-1 against Newcastle, but we're going to go with the goal scorer, Trossard. Now, he had the following stats. He had 3 shots on target, 1 goal, and 2 accurate crosses. Now, like I said, Brighton probably should have won this game against Newcastle. Newcastle right now is in this turmoil. They don't really know what's going on. They still haven't gotten their new manager to manage a game yet. I know he's in the works, in the process right now. But like I said, Newcastle right now is one of those teams that probably should be losing most of their matches. The fact they were able to draw against Brighton means a lot because Brighton was able to draw against Liverpool, and that can give some momentum to Newcastle coming back from international break. Who knows how that will go for them, though. So, and then our last midfielder, we're going to go back to the Manchester City derby. Again, this isn't too surprising. We're going to go with another goal scorer, Bernard Silva, who again had this weird run into the box. I'm not sure what Luke Shaw was doing. Let the ball go, and Silva got to the end of it, and I think it caught De Gea off guard because, again, he wasn't expecting that shot, and he ended up finding the back of the net. Now, he had the following stats. He had 1 shot on target, 1 goal, 65 accurate passes, and a clean sheet against Manchester United. Now, like I said, with the clean sheets, again, when it comes to our midfield, I think the midfield always deserves that. And again, this was a very team-oriented game for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola always has everyone working as a unit, and therefore, again, midfield is going to get that clean sheet. Now, moving into our top 3, again, this week, like I said, there wasn't really any standout forwards. There was a few good goals, but again, not one that really elevated above anyone else. And therefore, I picked a few different forwards that I'm not too sure if they'll be on the list again. So again, I wanted to give them the opportunity to at least make the list once in this Premier season. And the first one we're going to go with is Pookie from Norwich. Norwich finally got their first win. If you didn't watch my video, my predictions, I predicted this because, again, I thought Norwich, they were used to playing Brentford. They both got promoted this season. It was one of those matches where we thought for sure Norwich could step up, play well, and win their game, and they did that. Now, Pookie had the following stats. He had 1 shot on target, he had 1 goal, and 1 aerial duel won. Now, along with him, the next 2 forwards, they all had actually the same stats. So again, I'm just going to pop them up real quick. We had Wilfried Zaha, who also had the same stats. And then we had Stuart Armstrong, again, with the same stats, who had the game winner against Aston Villa, which actually led to Dean Smith being let go. So I'm not too sure how big of a goal that was for Southampton and for, again, Armstrong. But again, it was a great match. And Zaha, again, is a great player. I don't really need to speak too much about him. Great footwork, again, shows up each and every week and is a great player for his club. Now, with that being said, that is my team of the week. If you are new, like I said, comment down below what you think about this because I want to get the conversation going. Who you think should have made the top 11, who should have been bumped out of my team, because I want to know from you, the viewers, who you think had a really good week. And also, if you have the time, just hit the like button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. That is all I have for you today, and we will see you next time.